Hello and welcome to Who Knows, the show where we talk about what's going on in the world and most importantly, what we can do about it. My name is David Alex, I'm the moderator, and with me I have my 6 guests, the youth, and we're going to talk about a few topics. So you guys can introduce yourselves, start over there.
Afternoon, my name is Lenana, political scientist. We think, therefore we are.
I'm Santi Martin, work in the renewable energy sector in Africa, and my aim is basically to get everyone to pull in the same direction.
I'm Sanya, young, ambitious, and realistic.
My name is Leila, and I am shamelessly opinionated and proud.
Reggae Diallo, progressive entrepreneur.
Hi, my name is Michael Nyaga Karanja. I'm a lawyer by training, but an entrepreneur by design.
All right, welcome guys. Just to start us off, have you guys seen the Before the Flood, the film by Leonardo? Yeah.
Yes.
It came out a couple of weeks ago, and it's basically talking about the effect of our presence and what we're doing in terms of global warming. So how do you guys feel about global warming and climate change? Do you think it's serious enough? Do you think it's actually real? Discuss, 10 marks.
Okay, first and foremost, yeah, you need to understand what's causing now the climate changes, yeah? It's a greenhouse gas emissions. Now, you can't purely blame this on human causes, because one, you need to derive and distinguish the two. They're natural causes, yeah? And at the same time, they're human causes to it, yeah? The natural causes are like volcanic activity that is occurring in the present, and the solar radiation as well, yeah? When you look at the human causes, here's when you talk about the burning of the fossil fuels, yeah? First one, and second one is, sorry, that one escaped me, yeah? But moving forward, yeah, you need to now derive our solution, because its effects are really vast and dangerous. We're seeing an increase in hurricanes. Recently, Kenya had a heat wave. That's as a result of climate change, yeah? So when you're looking for solutions, and that's where I'm going to yield to you.
Well, this is the thing, right? When you look at climate change, okay, yes, you have natural causes and kind of emissions of greenhouse gases. We're talking about methane, we're talking about carbon dioxide here. But the thing is, when it has been analyzed very kind of very stringently, because obviously it affects lots of industries. If you say that climate change is occurring, right, this is affecting kind of like a lot of the manufacturing industries. It's kind of affecting a lot of like the main like fuel source that we use currently are fossil fuels, right? We're burning petrol, we're burning diesel, we're burning kind of like heavy oils. So it affects a lot of things. There's a lot of vested interest there. So there's a lot of attention which has been put on it, right? So there's a lot of analysis which has been done by kind of like very kind of like straight and clean edge kind of scientists. And it's been derived like past, like with many tests, that we are the cause of this global warming.
Definitely.
This change.
That's
Definitely.
the main point that we need to hammer in, yeah? We are the main cause of climate change.
We are the main.
Climate change is actually caused by humans. See,
Well-
we're living in an industrial society, right? Where, number one, China and the United States alone are emitting enough carbon dioxide into the atmosphere that the two countries are actually causing the ozone layer to deplete.
You can't
well,
solely
well,
blame
well,
them,
well,
though.
well,
You
come
cannot
on.
solely blame them,
now.
though.
Do you know what the biggest cause of
The two
global
countries-
warming is?
listen, the two countries that are emitting enough carbon dioxide due to industrialization, all the things that like China is producing right now,
Right.
the things that we wear, our shoes,
We don't need
shirts,
to, do we?
They are using so much like energy to produce those things that the ozone layer is being depleted in countries that don't emit carbon dioxide.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
well,
this is causing a lot of natural disasters like floods and as you say, heat waves
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Because
Hurricanes.
ice caps are melting, right? Temperatures are rising. I mean, it's not the normal climate that we used to have before. There is a problem of global warming, and
Yes.
it's rising. And the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio has actually put in so much effort to release something like this is a start. I mean, we do need to raise awareness on climate change. It's really serious.
But
Well-
you guys think guys care enough about climate change
They
to
ought
make
to.
It's
They ought to.
it's
They ought to.
entirely irrational
That's a-
no,
nonsense, okay?
because thinking about it, why does climate? I mean,
How does it affect you?
Yeah.
How does it affect you? The last 5 years, I think. The last 5 years have been the hottest 5 years recorded in history.
Yeah, in history,
right?
yeah.
Like each year, and then people still have the audacity to try and deny that climate change is occurring. Like, it's ridiculous. It's
But
ridiculous.
what are you doing yourself to actually
Okay, let me tell
combat
you.
it?
Let me tell you.
Each and everyone,
Okay, I'll
each and every
explain what I'm
person
doing myself.
in this room
Okay.
drives a petrol car. True or false? Or a
This is
diesel car.
this is not the
Let me
main
talk
issue.
about emissions. Come on.
This is not the main issue. Do you
No,
know
but
what
we're talking about emissions.
the greatest cause of
Hybrid
global
cars
warming?
right
Do you know
now
what
in
the
the
greatest
market
cause of
are
global
actually-
warming is?
What?
The meat industry, right? Cows emit the most methane in like it's the biggest cause to climate change currently. It's the meat industry, okay? All of mainly in Brazil and a lot around the world, okay? There's a lot of kind of they cut down a big old portion of the rainforest, which is obviously then getting rid of the negative effect, because like the trees obviously absorb the carbon dioxide and emit the oxygen while they're photosynthesizing. But the biggest cause of global warming is in the pastoralist kind of industry.
Yeah.
Right. So all of this kind of farming for dairy that we have, so the problem isn't on a person, on a singular person. I know you can say, okay, everyone does their part. Okay, this is going to make a difference. Everyone does their part. But the thing is that is not the major contributor.
Yeah.
The major contributor is these massive factories which churn out a huge amount of freaking of emissions. Are these kind of cows and because we have a huge wastage of meat. Okay. Like people buy a lot of meat, and it's seen as a socially kind of like.
For a second. That goes back to his question.
What are we doing?
We don't all know those particular facts.
Cut down you.
How do we all
Because-
care about climate change?
because think about it,
back to your point.
Yeah.
We're living in a developing nation, right? Where everybody is struggling to make finances
Yes.
for themselves. So you tell the regular man care about climate change.
Yeah.
Me, what I can tell you for a
But at
fact,
what
yeah,
cost?
As a developing country,
That's where I'm coming
Sorry,
from.
as a
I'd
developing country, we're
I'd love
not.
to cut you
Climate
guys
change
off
is
here
actually-
because we're out of time for that topic. But on that note, climate change was also among the things that our good friend Donald Trump said that he has no interest in. But among the things that happened in the elections was that a lot of states were voting on the death penalty.
Yeah.
So let's move on to that. What do you guys think of the death penalty and all the states that have approved it?
Sorry, just to correct you. He didn't say that climate change was something that he was interested in.
He doesn't.
Sure.
He said that he is going to tear up the Paris Peace Accord. I mean, the Paris Climate Accord, based on the fact that climate change is nonsense. So, on the whole death penalty situation, I think that the death penalty it makes sense. I think that.
Whoa.
So you look at all the volumes of people who have been put to
Excuse-
death, right?
First
And then
and
it's
foremost,
later
yeah.
found out that they're innocent, right?
Yeah.
Like from evidence
I'm a
which was
lawyer,
covered
yeah?
up in the time.
I'm a lawyer, and I'm going to give my perspective, yeah? First and foremost, I'm a lawyer and I'm religious. From the legal aspect, first things first, yeah? I wouldn't say 100% of the cases that are tried are actually tried and are correctly tried. I'll be lying to you. To be frankly honest with you, the people who send people to jail make mistakes. The people who collect the forensic evidence make mistakes. And it only comes out to be known a few years later that a mistake was made. When you give somebody, when you sentence somebody to a death penalty, you're taking away somebody's life without knowing the repercussions. One. Two, even before I get into religion. Two, the reason jail exists, first and foremost, is for rehabilitation purposes. You go into jail or prison, you are rehabilitated and then sent back into the world. That is the purpose of a prison. Three, religiously, no man has a right to take another man's life. I'm sorry to say.
No,
You know,
listen,
Nyaga,
that's-
I really agree with you here. I really agree with you here.
yeah.
If the thing is, like, I believe that, okay, some people have committed some heinous crimes, right? Right? Like, I mean, like, they would. There is no real chance of rehabilitation. But what I'm saying is, I agree with you. If we had, like, at the moment, the death sentence, in my opinion, is not. It's a bad idea because you kill people.
It's inhumane.
And
No,
then,
but
and then you find out they're innocent.
Yes.
If we had a perfect judicial system, then I would agree with the death
nothing like
sentence. But
perfect
there's
in
no
this world.
perfect
If you think
judicial
about it,
system.
Perfect in this world.
Sorry. You people all just reacted before I even had a chance to explain myself. The reason why I think that it makes sense is because to have these people in jail, which costs taxpayers money, yeah, when there's so many other things that money could be dealing with, or so many other problems that it could be solving. The thing of space is one of the biggest things that are going to, space is one of the biggest challenges that we're having now as the population grows. And we don't want people who cause harm to humanity just lingering around. That's
Like,
I understand.
No,
No,
proportions of
let me
people who are put for
please,
death
let me
sentence.
I agree with
finish.
Leila. Actually agree with Leila.
Do you?
It's
You want to talk about space?
guys,
Are
no,
you talking about space in prison?
One at a time.
Baby Alex,
One
one question.
at a
Are you talking
time.
about space in prison? That's just a question.
Space in prison and space on the earth.
No, actually,
No.
I don't understand
no,
why.
Yaga,
Sorry,
Yaga,
I
does not
mean,
belong
Yaga,
to a
Yaga,
single
please,
human
I
please,
agree.
please.
I
Yaga,
agree with
please,
Leila.
let me finish,
Leila,
please.
can I piggyback
No,
off your point?
no.
Okay,
Let me
alright,
finish
go ahead,
first.
go ahead.
I don't understand. Even if we're talking about space in prisons, then that means building
Leave
bigger
the petty
prisons.
offenders
Okay.
to
Okay.
actually
Yeah,
handle
my
the petty
two cents-
offenders.
Proportion of people on the
Listen,
death
that was the
sentence, and
point to
how is
begin
that
with.
like
That was the
even
point to
relevant?
begin with. All I'm saying is it doesn't make sense to have this group of juveniles or these delinquents running around.
Juveniles.
Okay, that's-
So
Yeah,
you think they should be death
No,
sentenced?
My
you
two cents
are.
about the
Yeah.
matter is this, guys. My two
That's
cents
a bit
about the
harsh.
matter is this. There needs to be a consequence for
Yeah.
everything, you know. I mean, a guy can't walk into a house and kill a whole family and expect maybe
Let me
just
ask
to-
you, what has
Now,
led him to
now,
do that?
let me-
Try and
let me-
understand
no,
what has led him
no,
to
What's
do
gonna
that.
happen?
Listen, there has to be a consequence for everything.
Okay,
you see.
but
What's the difference between a life,
That's
a life imprisonment, yeah, and you can actually the people who serve double life imprisonment.
But what's gonna
That
happen?
means you can die and even come back to.
you see, Nyaga,
you can
yeah.
come back
What
to
I-
life.
what I-
but then-
Listen.
What I was
What's
saying,
gonna
yeah.
happen if you take away that fear, that small fear that if I commit this crime, this is the consequence? I mean, there's nothing. How do you say this? It's comfortable. Going to prison is comfortable.
Exactly.
Right?
True.
If you know, okay, fine, I'm just gonna go to prison. Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine. Let me just kill like 6 innocent people. I'm
But
just gonna go to
things
prison.
like that-
Because honestly, you need to be
Can I
punished
talk?
for specific
Yes.
crimes.
But you
can't
need
be
to
punished
understand
for
one thing.
everything like
You need to
that.
understand
Can
one
I
thing,
say
Sonia.
some-
Yeah?
can I say
I was
something?
studying whatever criminology. It's studying the mind. The people who are not okay. Before you call them juveniles and delinquents and actually treat them as normal as we are, you need to sit back and think. And you need to now start
I
looking at the
totally disagree.
psychology.
I totally disagree. Listen,
Do you think if they're killing, would
Now,
Leonard.
here's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Coming off what Leila was saying, for once we actually agree with each other, okay? Because I believe, right, something of what she said. If you kill people, yeah, let's say like this guy said, you murder a whole family, right?
What did the army
and your
do?
consequence is
As a
jail,
profession.
Yeah.
where the taxpayer, me and you, are paying for you to be in that place.
But they give
You have
back
a-
to
you have a
society.
bed, you have a
But they
bed,
give back to
you have a
society.
food,
Yes.
Just
and
living.
you just murdered an entire family. Yes, the death penalty makes sense because that person deserves
And
to
to disagree,
Because,
to disagree on
listen, yeah,
Nyaga's
if
point,
you look at
to-
religious, yeah, a religious point of view,
Yeah.
you can say no man should judge another person according to God. You're not God. You can't decide who dies and who doesn't.
Religiously,
But
if
you
you're
look at
slapping one cheek,
society-wise,
you turn the
why
other
am I
cheek.
paying my tax money to keep a serial killer in jail with a bed and
Yeah,
food?
exactly.
He actually-
Shower.
like,
And to disagree
maybe
on-
they should like count how many people you kill,
Yeah.
All right.
and therefore you can decide if that person deserves to die.
If
Yeah, and
Or
also,
if
to
you
add on
kill
your
like one
point,
person, maybe you can live. But if you kill like 6 people and a
Yeah.
whole family,
to add on
you
Lena's
deserve to
point,
die.
some of the most
No, you're talking nonsense. I think
No.
you should decide if you kill one person.
That's your
then maybe
yeah,
you can
what's
live.
that?
If
No.
You cannot
then
call
maybe you
yourself.
can live.
Actually
That
makes
makes no
sense.
It's not humanity. It's in your
Maybe-
vein. Let me
no,
tell
maybe
you.
they should
First things
decide
first, yeah.
on how many people you
I
kill.
want to correct the
Wait,
both
yeah,
of you.
please,
I want to
please.
correct the both of you. Yeah. When you talk about spending the taxpayers' monies,
Yeah.
people in jail do work. All these number plates that you see on the roads are actually made
That's a good
by
point.
hand by these people. They give back to society even when they're within the federal justice system.
Yeah.
When we
No,
have
but sure,
unemployment, I don't understand
let's
why
say
people
Nyaga.
are being paid to make number plates. Why?
So do you want to give up on people simply because they made a mistake? Yes, somebody dropped.
That's
Somebody
what I
was.
said.
No, wait, let me
Listen,
tell you.
but-
Somebody was
but-
drinking and driving.
You know, man,
Somebody was drinking and driving
no.
and ran over somebody.
but you don't get the death penalty for that,
It
do
is-
you?
it-
You
I
don't.
don't-
every
man is
case,
rare
every
and your
case,
actor's
every
rare.
case is
Okay,
individual.
okay,
Every
okay,
case
hold
is
on, hold on,
individual.
hold on.
Yeah.
Guys, we need to talk one at a time. Otherwise, there's nothing we're doing here.
Okay.
It depends on the crime committed.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. If you go around killing people who are innocent, you deserve that punishment.
Exactly.
All right. If you go around raping innocent people,
Yeah.
like or children, you deserve that punishment. You cannot just go to jail and work and do activities.
Why can't you cut off their
It's like
hands?
basically leaving your home and going to another home with closed walls. That's the only difference.
With rape, why can't you cut off his genitals rather than killing a human being?
Well, I
We
guess.
actually just missed that
No,
point.
that's.
We
I
missed
think
that
that
point.
could be a bit
We actually
irrational.
missed that point.
Yeah, but guys,
Her
to
point was,
flip the
it
story.
depends
Yeah.
on the specific
Yes.
crime
Yeah.
that you cause. Because what I'm saying is, if you go and murder an entire family,
Yeah.
and then now we have the like you can get killed for killing other people. That's what the death penalty
Cause and
actually
effect.
is.
Right, I'm
It's cause and effect.
Yes.
I'm going to bring a point back.
Let's kill that last point. Because it's like, for example, Nyaga was saying that they do give back to society. But it depends on your crime. If you murdered an entire family and you're putting number plates on a car, that isn't fitting of your crime.
Exactly.
where is the
We've gone
psychology
over
at that
something.
point in
I
time?
think we can come to unanimous to a unanimous kind of like point here that all these crimes are individual, right?
Yeah.
They're all unique,
Yes.
right? So let's say, okay. And this has happened many times with the death penalty in America. Many people have been put to death, and then years later, it's found out that, I don't know, the police were hiding evidence, or like some nonsense like that, right? So someone was framed. Maybe they couldn't find the real perpetrator, so they framed someone, right?
So
We do not have a perfect judicial system. So
And
when
we
you
will
do,
never-
no,
and
but
we never
when you
to
commit
scrap consequences, what about the rest
look,
of murdered
you're looking.
families?
Okay, look, I'm going to bring a point back that was brought earlier. Okay, okay, you're saying if you scrap the death penalty, people won't be scared, right? It'll take that. Look, this is someone who's going around killing people. Okay, if their crime is big enough that they're going to be put to the death sentence for this, do you think they think like me and you? Do you think it's the same?
Can I counteract that?
It's completely
Do you guys
different.
know Ted Bundy? Do you guys know Ted? That guy was a genius. He had a very high IQ. That was a serial killer. Very sharp mind. So
They should have proper systems in place. If you have the slightest doubt that someone is innocent,
That's the
slightest
system.
doubt,
Yeah.
you do not prosecute them.
That is
You
the
have to be
current system.
completely- The system, obviously, there has to be changes if you're gonna implement this policy, right? You have to have a proper system with a proper structure, so everything goes well. Like you have to have clear,
Give us an example,
proper
please.
evidence.
You're looking at an idealistic kind of vision
Come on,
here,
let's
okay?
be
This is
realistic.
the world. Let's be realistic.
I fully agree with that.
Like, we do not have a perfect judicial system.
I agree with you by that.
Yeah, I fully agree with her. Yeah.
I'm actually on your side.
I said this at the beginning. If we had a perfect judicial system, then yes, the death penalty would make sense.
Yeah.
But currently, we do not have a perfect judicial system, and we shall not for a long time. At least to the point where you can be 99.9% sure that someone who is accused of a crime or
it's also dependent on the actual crime.
Yeah.
yes, but we're talking about the accuracy.
Why can't you cut off the hands so that you can never do it again? Like just a question.
We're talking about
Such a-
individual crimes, right?
Come on, let's talk
If
about
you talk
humanity. Be a
somebody
human for
we know
1
is a
second.
serial killer
Yeah.
and has killed this many
I just-
people. That's different.
Do you think
than
that's
one
something that's
person
mental-
Who kills somebody?
Don't you think that's
and
a
the
mental
evidence
problem?
is still shaky.
Yeah, but
You
to
get-
flip-
him
to
is
flip
talking
the-
about a person who has
The-
killed
the-
somebody.
the- the- the
Let me
cur- the
just
current
try to
judicial
understand what
system-
you're saying. You're talking about somebody who has killed somebody, one person,
my problem-
and the evidence is not all the way, right? Let's talk about a serial killer who has known to have killed many people.
Yeah.
Doesn't he deserve the death penalty?
Look, what you're
Because
missing
maybe one
here-
of the people who he killed, we don't know.
What
but
you're-
we know he killed that family
several
and that
others,
family.
yeah.
What
No, but
you're-
come on.
What about genocide?
what you're missing here, what you're missing here, what you're missing here, what you're missing
You can't
here.
preach water and drink wine, banana. Let me
Guys.
bring at this point to you.
Yaga.
1 second, David.
let him- let him-
I'm actually requesting you.
What he's
Okay, I'll say it.
sorry.
Go ahead.
What he's missing is that, okay, look, if you know for sure that this person has killed all these people and you know the reasons that they killed these people and whatever, right, then you can dish out the punishment fitting the crime. The current judicial system is that, yes, you can only be prosecuted if you are beyond all reasonable doubt, right? If it is all beyond reasonable doubt, and all of these wrong, all of these.
No,
Idi Amin.
So Hitler
Oh,
or
Idi
Idi
Amin.
Amin should have gone to jail.
Sorry, let's
You're missing. You're putting words in my mouth. I have said if you had a perfect.
It's the same analogy.
Can I respond? David, I was next. I believe I was next, but ladies first, no problem. Yeah.
I think we have to look at the purpose of prison to begin with. It's to keep away dangerous members of the society from the rest of the society.
Exactly.
Okay? Dangerous members of society. So whether or not they have a mental problem like you've mentioned, they're still dangerous. So
You know, if you plead insanity, you're taken to a proper
mental
psyche ward.
institution,
Yeah,
right?
not jail. You're not beheaded.
Exactly,
Nothing.
but either way, there are still people who end up in jail, yes or no?
True.
So there are those people who don't have mental problems, who are in jail,
Yeah.
who have killed multiple people,
Yeah.
and or even not even multiple people, even one person. I feel
Yeah.
is
Exactly, and that's what I want. That's what I want to respond to you
Please,
with regard. Yeah.
I can feel your intensity. I want to got it. Just
Yeah.
let me pick out your level. So just because someone has killed 6 million people, like 6 people, 6 families, or 1 person, if someone has killed someone else, if someone has killed someone else and they have admitted to this fact of killing someone else and malice intent has been proven, then I personally don't see why this person should be allowed to continue living on earth.
David, may I?
Go.
Agree.
First things first,
Last point, guys.
Yeah, first things first, yeah. You can't preach water and drink wine. I say this for one reason and one reason only. You're talking about killing 6 people being differentiated from killing 1 person. You cannot say behead somebody because he's killed a series of people and then let this guy spend life in prison. It can't work like that. You can't have a gap in the system. No, just 1 second, Len. I'll let you speak, yeah? You can't have a gap in the system, and this is why. When you have a gap in the system, every gap is penetrable. People can go around it, and you will never find a solution. That's the first point, yeah? Second point, you're talking about Hitler, Idi Amin. Those are warlords, first and foremost. Second and foremost, there's an institution in The Hague that's built to deal with such characters. It's called, their crimes are called crimes against humanity, not murder.
True.
They're charged on many counts.
So they will
be dealt with in accordance with.
Okay, even if The Hague handles those particular cases,
the special cases,
they actually say this person deserves the death penalty, are you actually going to tell me those people don't deserve to die? Because if you've killed 6 million people, my friend, you deserve to die. I am actually pro death penalty because you can't.
When you kill 6,
I go back to the taxpayer issue.
Yeah.
You can't keep Idi Amin or Hitler in jail. I am working my butt off, I can say, and my tax money is going to keep them in there, knowing very well these particular people are a cause of mass death.
Let me ask you,
one death.
We're actually out of time. We're actually out of time.
A good point.
Good point,
yeah, you guys have.
No, what if a building? 1 second. What if a building collapses because of negligence and it kills mass people?
No,
That's manslaughter.
No.
That's manslaughter.
I will not have
That's
this.
not murder.
I'm with you.
Damn it, people. The moderator.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's that for the death penalty. I think we have 2 sides of the coin there, but very nice. But we'll take a short break, and when we get back, we'll talk about a good friend, Donald Trump.
waxay jeclaayeen inay ila wadaagaan sheeko ku saabsan waxbarashadooda laakiin ma awoodin qof ahaan inaan fahmo arrinkan waxay isugu jireen wiilal iyo gabdho oo badankood da'da qangaarka ka yar waxaa jira hal wado oo ay ardaydan qof walba oo soo booqday wax ku fahansiiyaan waana tilmaamaha gacmaha halkan waa fasalka koowaad ee dugsiga hoose waxaana ka socotay xiisadda koowaad ee maalintaas oo ahayd tarbiyada islaamka maadadan ayaa manhaj ahaan ku baxda luqadda carabiga laakiin baraha bixinaya xiisaddan wuxuu ardaydu u sharaxayay cashirka isagoo aan hadlin xiriirka ka dhaxeeya macalinka iyo ardayga inta lagu guda jiro fasalka waa tilmaamaha xagga gacmaha
markii daawada dhamatay kadib dhowaa noqday hooy agtada fadhida aan inta fadhiyo hooy waxa dhahay xaqiibo saqbada aan ma maqlayo wari cabdin sar saqbada aan ma maqlayo kadib hooy wanaxday ana ataa isku naxay kadib dhowaa noqday xooganidiisa bedeshay dadka Soomaaliyeed qaarkood ayaa faquuqa dadka dhagaha la waxaa jira shaqooyin badan oo ay codsadeen laakiin loo diiday inay qabtaan sababo la xiriira xanuunka ay dhagaha ka qabaan arintan waxay niyad jibisay dadka farakutiriska ah ee wax bartay haddana aan dhagaha lahayn
runtii marka aan dibadaha u baxno waxaan la kulannaa dhagoolo wax bartay wax ka tayaqaano baabuurro wata dadka kale aan ka socnayn laakiin Soomaaliya markay joogno takoor xun ayaa lagu hayaa takoorkaas oo ka mid yihiin inaan baabuur wadi karin inaan waxba baran karin maratay iyo waxyaabo badan
Right, welcome back to Who Knows. We've just had a very heated discussion on the death penalty, but it's time we moved on to the next topic. So what do you guys think of the results of the recent US election?
Trump is literally a portrayal of America. He is exactly what American people think, okay? They got the president that they deserve. One, because Americans are actually really quite racist, and we can tell now, yeah? This is just perfect, a clear picture. Second of all, I think that Americans are very tired of this whole liberal system that is not exactly liberal, yeah? So they just want to change. It doesn't matter what change that they got, they just wanted to change. I mean, if Hillary won, it's not like things would have been better either, because, I mean, she still wants to go to war with the Middle East. But yeah, I'll just let guys talk for now. I'll get back on it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Let me respond to that. First and foremost, yeah, before I get to her point, US elections, it's important to note that they put themselves in that situation. They had multiple candidates that could have actually made good presidents. Talk of Joe Biden, talk of Bernie Sanders. Yeah, they could have made really, really good presidents. But the Democrats cannot blame anybody for their defeat. Why? Because someone's time has come. Now, to respond to what you've just said, yeah, you literally put it out like America is a representation of the US elections. First and foremost, Hillary Clinton won by popular vote. She beat Trump by popular vote, and that's over 50 million people. Trump also got 50 million people. You need to look at it in this angle, yeah? Half of the country voted for Hillary, half of the country voted for Trump. So you can't outrightly come and say Americans are racist. No, wait, let me finish my point. Most of them are, but let me finish my point, yeah? You see, when you're choosing the lesser of two evils, and 50 million people actually decide that Trump is actually the lesser of two evils, who are you to question it? One. Two, the electoral college is flawed. It's a really bad system of picking a US president, especially sitting US president. Yeah. So if you are okay with that system and then come and riot against the results of that system afterwards, basically because you agreed with all the polls leading up to election day, then you as an individual should blame yourself.
Okay, let me touch on that, yeah? First and foremost, let's just go back to the main reason we're even talking about America. Because of like America's like social political network and how they are connected to the rest of the world, number one, that's why we're concerned. Because America and their foreign policy affects all of us. So who they pick as a president, unfortunately, affects most of us in the world.
True.
Because you see, America has almost every military base in almost every single country on this planet. So who they pick as a representation of them affects us.
Yeah.
Going back to her point, I actually agree. If America, we've always known, has racist history, from slavery to segregation. So, number one, if you look at like how they've been talking about it in politics, yeah, it's almost a backlash to a black president. Simple. White America said to themselves, we have to pick a president that now reflects us, because they weren't happy with Obama's charisma, his intellect, and everything that he had. Trump was more like a backlash. You get? Hillary has 30 years of experience, right? She's a woman. These are things that we're not ready for in the world.
She did not lose because she's a woman.
It
Do not
actually
get
goes
it
back
mistaken.
to how we view women in society.
No, do not get it twisted. If it was Michelle Obama on the ticket,
let me just finish my point.
would have a woman president.
As leaders. And the men in us makes us feel like women can't lead in the right way that men lead. I actually had an argument with somebody where they said, I'll just pick Donald Trump because a woman is not ready to lead. She has 30 years of experience. Like back to Sonia's point, they picked a leader who is a reflection of the problems that America still has, that they have to deal with.
Okay, so just this we're very much addressing this concept of racism like it's a small thing. It's not a small thing. And the fact that, you know, to say that Americans are racist, white America is fighting back, and so on and so forth, we are all innately racist to some extent. That's what I believe. Pick any country in the world, and there is a racist example. There's a place where people are fighting for resources, fighting for employment based on race. So to say that this is an American problem, I don't think that's accurate, because I mean, if you look at what happened during Brexit as well, and look at the immigration crisis that's going on right now with the Middle East and with Western Europe as well, I think it's not just an American problem. It's happening everywhere, even in Kenya here, but probably not on the race level, but on the tribe level. And I think that it really at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who is leading, because if you look, Obama from 2008 until 2016, every single year he said, we are going to close Gitmo, we are going to close Gitmo. Gitmo is still open. There are like 11 prisoners. So even if Donald Trump wants to go and shut down Obamacare and whatever, that is why
not possible. The systems.
Exactly. That's why they have a system of checks and balances.
Yeah.
The way that power has been devolved so much, the president of the United States has really become a ceremonial figure, like the Queen. You know, for example, Santi can tell you how much he loves the Queen. At the end of the day, you as a middle class citizen, or as an upper class, whatever you are in life, you continue with your 6-year plan or your 8-year plan or whatever. The policies that it makes might affect you indirectly, but only slightly. That is what I want to say.
Can I bring a point up of this? Okay, first of all, I don't like the Queen. Huh? But basically, the point that I want to make is that if you look at the statistics, they do have a very large influence. They have a big effect what presidential candidate gets elected. Okay, the only reason that you're not seeing a huge kind of dramatic changes, you're not going to see dramatic changes. This is a country of like 100 million people or something like that. Like it's like what they do now, what it'll affect. It'll affect 10, 15 years in the future. That's where the major effect will be. But even during Obama's presidency, if you look at the statistics, some of the things which he has achieved, they're outstanding. Like his unemployment rates are kind of like falling tremendously, right? And there's all of these things, but they're small changes. That they're not. The percentages are kind of 1%, 2%, 3%, something like that, right? It's not something which a week in the future, or a month or 4 years in the future, you'll be like, oh wow, this is a whole nother country. Yeah. If it worked like that, then when you get a bad president, avoid
it.
When you have a bad candidate like that, things will plummet really fast. Okay, so you need to keep it. You need so many other buffers within the system to kind of, and that's how it's been created. So changes are made, but they're small.
My 2 cents on the point is this. The reason why Trump actually won the presidential election is because, you see, at the end of the day, everyone wants change. Now, what he's saying is this, because I took some time to look at his policies. First of all, he's going to raise the economy from 1% growth to 5% growth. That gives you around, I think it was 20 million jobs, you see. So, I mean, people want change at the end of the day, and he's offered them change, and I think that's,
I agree. Economically, Trump could really improve America.
Will
improve America. All right, and also the fact that he is also creating good ties with other countries, improving trade.
Such as Mexico, sorry.
No,
that's a whole
such as Russia.
That's a different.
His businesses are countries that actually
trade policies, increasing jobs, decreasing taxes, increasing the minimum wage, stuff like that is really going to improve America. So he does have America's interest at heart. All right, forget about those retarded things that he says.
That's for campaign.
But in terms of economically, he will improve America.
Okay, can I give you a point, right? Trump is a businessman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His businesses, as we speak, are failing, right? He has filed for bankruptcy over 5 times.
Yeah.
And it's not 1%.
What is his net worth?
America is actually moving at 5%.
What is his net worth?
He hasn't declared.
That's wrong.
That's wrong. Let me just finish.
What is his net worth?
The thing is, you have to look at Trump and see the type of person he's portrayed himself as. Let's go back to how it affects us here in Kenya. America is a superpower. It's a power that we in Kenya, our businesses, right, as tourism and what? Agriculture. Those are our top things.
Yeah.
We sell most of our goods to America. So if Trump is talking about those things that you're saying, or whatever he's saying,
Nationalism.
he doesn't like Mexicans, he wants to build a wall. Are you seeing the racist things that
But bro,
he's
is it
portraying?
feasible? You need
And
to
most
sit
of the
down and
world
ask
looks
yourself.
like us. So you're talking about people you want to do business with. How does that make you a good leader if you talk badly about most of the people you need to do business with?
Can I please? Kindly, thank you very much.
Yes, go ahead, go
First
ahead.
things first, it's important to note, most importantly, you can't say Trump is a bad president. Yeah? Why? For one reason only, yeah? He's only led that country for about a week.
Not it.
He's a
He
president
hasn't
elect.
voted.
He's still
What-
on.
what
Yeah,
has he
he's
said on his
president.
campaign
Just
trail?
wait 1 second.
Okay. No.
His campaign trail, first and foremost, if you haven't noticed, he managed to hoax the whole world. Forget just America. He hoaxed the whole world. And right now, he's in a position of power. And I'm not lying to you, he's actually going to do a better job than Obama did. Wait, that's 1 second. Second thing, I'm going to come to Hillary Clinton, yeah? All of you guys are talking about America and how it impacts the world, yeah? Hillary is, first and foremost, friends to the banking system, which is majorly flawed, yeah? Two, she's pro-war. Yeah, so in America sneezes, the whole world catches a war. Catches a cold.
But Trump was of the same sentiment at the time.
One
Sorry.
second,
Exactly,
yeah.
though.
So when America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. So let's move to Hillary Clinton. She's a warmonger. She loves war. She wanted to go with war. She wanted to go to war with the Middle East. What impact would that have with the world? Russia already, through President Vladimir Putin, outrightly said, if Hillary gets power, it's going to be,
But
you're
Trump
going to see World War
and Putin
III.
are working
But if,
together.
no,
You don't know.
if Hillary wins, you're going to see World War III. But if Trump wins, it's going
But
to be
you know
business as usual.
Putin and Trump have been working together, right?
Bro, 1 second. Just think about it this way, yeah? There's already been cyber attacks. There's been cyber wars, yeah? Between America and Russia, yeah? For Russia to recall or to tell all its officials to recall back its family members, it was getting serious. You cannot just talk about Trump and Putin working together. It was getting serious. And if America elected the wrong person 1 week ago, it would have become serious in the next few months.
To add on to your point, to add on to his point, right? I think
I get
that
you.
Trump's interests are more in economical, as I said, and I don't think he has as much interest in war and warfare and weapons and all this stuff. I think he would rather keep the money in America. So I think this could also be an advantage for foreign policy compared to Hillary's.
Can I say something here? Like honestly, I like everything that you've heard on this campaign trail. There's not going to be a reflection of what happens
At all.
during his presidency
Yeah,
in
at
any
all,
way.
yeah.
What he was doing is he was you're right. He was playing
was
with
a
people.
hoax,
He was
yeah.
playing with people. Like so. But that to me is the major problem here, right? The fact that his entire election, the electoral kind of like process which he like went through. It was waffling. It was lying. Like you want to bring someone into presidency who on live television during debates, right? She'll say, okay, so you said this. You say
Hillary is really ill.
Hang on, give me a minute.
She lies
Right?
to everybody by not telling anybody that she's
Give me a minute.
ill,
Give me
and
a minute.
She's really ill. It's better what Trump says than Hillary.
Okay, right.
Sorry.
So you're looking at someone who during a debate, right, will be the topic will be okay. So. You want to bring this guy in, and he thinks that climate change is a hoax perpetrated by China, so that they can kind of better their industrial whatever's over us, right? And then he says, no, I didn't say that. Like literally, he's quoted word for word, like, no, I didn't say that. This is like, and you want to put someone into that position of power who literally bold-faced lies when there is evidence on YouTube.
He would have been a smart politician, though, to do so.
Right, of
That's
course.
what politicians do.
Of course.
That's a flawed
Gentlemen,
system.
please let the lady speak.
Yes.
Also,
okay.
I think that Trump's America. Patrick Frey, sorry, just mad ad-lib. Patrick Gathara, thank you very much for that article that you wrote in the Washington Post recently. You made a point that Trump's America is going to be very similar to Uhuru's Kenya, okay? First of all, we've spoken about the war, this Mexican war that everyone is talking about. Oh, the war, Mexico is going to pay for it. Kenyatta said the same thing about Somalia and Kenya. He said he wants to build a wall across the Somali-Kenya border, if not the whole wall, then at least at the Mandera crossing.
Difference is Kenyans were advocating for it.
Sorry, still speaking. Secondly, he also said that he wants to round up all immigrants and ship them back wherever they came from. Kenyatta did this in 2014.
By closing one refugee camp, Dabab, and it's been suspended by 6 months.
Naga, sorry. I'm not speaking about the Dab. I'm talking about when thousands of Kenyans were collected and put at Kasarani and at Nyayo Stadium for days on end without food. I dealt with them during my international relations project. We spoke to them and what the experiences were like, and it was very traumatizing. There was someone who actually I was in class with. We were in the same matatu going to school to do an exam, and she couldn't do it because she was at Kasarani being held up. And she had papers and policemen were telling her.
That's what they're going through.
That's what Trump is talking about.
Sorry. I'm still talking. I didn't interrupt you. She had papers. She had her ID with her. Yeah. And she could not sit her exam. You know, she missed her graduation by a whole year because of a policy to take.
But why did he do that? No, wait, Leila. Why did he do that? Leila, what was the reason? What was the reason for him doing that?
And my third point. Yes, and my third point about Uhuru's Kenya and Trump's America is that he has been asked how you're going to fight ISIS, and he said that I will keep it a secret until I'm in office.
That means I don't know.
Basically, which means I don't know. And all I'm saying is during Uhuru's time that the attacks on Kenya have increased.
Excuse me, first and foremost, some troops. No. First and foremost, some troops have been sent, first and foremost, South Sudan, trying to keep the peace. Second and foremost, Kenya actually won a war under General Karangi with Somalia. We landed it first. It's called. Yeah, we won it.
Okay.
And we're actually restoring stability.
I need to cut you off there.
She just said something that's so hard-hitting.
Because unfortunately, we're talking about the election. And that's Kenyan problems.
No,
let me ask you guys.
We shall finish this after.
Let me ask you guys a question. What do you think Trump's election says about America? Because they can't be seen as the moral standard if your head is saying this and that about women, about your neighbors, the Mexicans.
That's exactly what I was
can they be taken as the pinnacle of moral standards anymore?
Do you know what this whole election shows? Is that politics is corrupt, all right? And the most powerful country in the world has just shown the world that politics is corrupt. This is a perfect example of corruption.
So can you give a summary?
Let's
go closing words, guys.
Actually, she almost
we can start from land because I want to
She almost got my summary.
No.
She almost had my summary because she's right. If America was supposedly the moral standard of the world, this is the country we used to look up to, and this is the country that is a superpower, so we trade with them. They affect so much of what we are as a country. As we're developing, America's tentacles are still connected to us. So like she was saying, if they put a leader who in his campaign trail, me, I'm a political scientist. I know how we can use politics to trick people to get to where you want. In Kenya, we do the same thing. You know, you offer some
Hillary tried the same thing,
some promises, and you don't fulfill.
Yeah.
In America, if you have somebody on the campaign trail who has talked badly about women, people of color, Mexicans building a wall, people who they actually are neighbors with, we can no longer hold them as a moral standard.
Yeah.
Which now is a breakaway, like you were saying, to Africa. Now we need to be the ones who now fill in that gap, because now they are no longer a country that we can look up to because they elected a man like Donald Trump, which is more like spitting to like the world, just like showing us they don't actually no longer care about the world and how they represent their beacon of greatness. So for me, my last point I would say, Donald Trump was a complete mistake, and Nyaga, we'll see in 4 years how he'll do. But I'll tell you for a fact, I'm not pro-Donald Trump.
I'm not pro-Donald Trump. I'm just anti-Hillary.
Right. Frankly, we hear a lot about the American people wanting change, right? This is why they have elected someone who's completely different from the other politicians. But the thing is, he's not. Like, you're looking at someone who... As I was saying earlier, like basically tells bald-faced lies, okay, and that's a big issue people have with politicians, okay, making promises and not fulfilling those promises, right? And then now you have someone who's done that in the campaign trail, like just completely disregarded comments he said in the past, not even with sly wording, nothing like that. He's just bald-faced lied, like, and there you've got the evidence, right? I mean, it's not a debate; it's just factual. And you want to elect this person. to run the country, to be the commander-in-chief of a country which has a war budget, a military budget like greater than the 10 next countries, and it's just, to me, to be honestly, it just doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, I basically said what I had to say. Corruption is real, and yeah, I mean, okay, to be realistic, now we need to think about moving forward, and all we can really do is be optimistic and hope, because as she had said, policies don't always go through. I mean, presidents are just there for decoration, to be honest. And at the end of the day, I think Trump had more control over his actions before he was elected president than he will.
He does now.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think ultimately this whole story of making, of looking up to America, to be our moral beacon and our policeman, they have their own problems to deal with. I don't think they should really focus on ours right now. Secondly, it's going to be an interesting 4 years. I'm excited about the future.
I'll just conclude with a thought. The world is basically a global village, yeah? And America is the top superpower. So what they usually do is delegate tasks. If there's an issue here, maybe send some troops or a delegation to do this and that. But now with Trump coming in, this is where I've been thinking, he's more nationalist. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to deal with other people's problems. So what happens now? Yeah, that's my thought.
What happens and what will follow is peace. For one reason and one reason only. Anytime a country intervenes in what they term themselves as a failed state, that's when you see the state actually failing completely. Yeah? Listen to me, I'm not pro-Trump, but I know he's going to bring a difference. People have him all figured out before they even get to know him. Yeah? I'm just anti-Hillary for this reason and this reason only. When she was Secretary of State, that's the most madness that this world has ever seen. ISIS was created. Her emails were leaked. There's forensic and actual evidence, documented evidence to show you that what she's trying to portray is a complete opposite of who she actually is. Yeah. When I know you've watched this movie about Benghazi, yeah? And you've read about Benghazi, yeah? As a Secretary of State, when an incident like that is happening, you need to be the first person to pick up the phone and know what's happening and how you're going to actually withdraw your troops from there. She was called every second for 3 hours, and she didn't answer simply because she was asleep on the job. You're not a president who's going to be asleep on the job. Question. Second thing, Trump, and he blatantly put it out there, stated to us, which is maybe the first bold truth that he told us, that Hillary is ill. You can see it in her face when she speaks. Yeah? 1. 2, he was asking for drug tests to be done after, drug tests to be done after every debate. Why? Because she's taking performance-enhancing drugs. You want somebody who's unwell to make calculated decisions about the future of not just Americans, yeah, but the world. Because when America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold, yeah? And to sum it all up, like blatantly speaking, yeah? And I'm going to repeat myself. For 50 million people to believe they want change, yeah, forget the hoax that Donald Trump gave us. For 50 million people to believe that they want change, yeah? It doesn't mean, as she said, yeah, that everything's going to change overnight, yeah? There's systems that are in place. There's actually a hierarchical system that people have to follow. Trump, I disagree with him on some things. His new nomination for the Attorney General. A few years ago, he was refused to be a federal judge because of being racist. There are a few things that I disagree with him on. Yeah? But at the same time, the things that I disagree with him on don't outweigh the things that I disagree with Hillary Clinton on. Yeah.
Excellent. Nice. That was a pretty dope summary, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Who Knows? That's it for this debate. Don't forget you can catch us on Facebook and Twitter, where we'll interact with you guys and give some mentions on the next episode. But thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.